to Data Science using Python. In this video, we're going to talk about making box plots. And hopefully we can get through the entire thing here in just a few minutes. All right, so if you've watched the last video, we're going to use some of the things that we did there in order to do this. So first, we're going to make a simple box plot. And we're going to be using the impulsivity data just like last time. So like before, we had to set some parameters, some handles, so that things equal or work well. And this is something you should get used to doing. This is the kind of thing that often occurs in lots of programming languages. But here, we're going to set the handle here as figure and AX. So we're going to set first let's just see if we can do a box plot without putting any title on it. So I'm going to do imp1 df, and then I'm going to do imp1. And let's just see what this produces. Does this produce anything? And sure enough, we get a box plot. It's standing up nice and vertical, and doesn't tell us too much because there's no labeling on it. So why don't we add a label to this? So let's do AX set title. And here we'll do impulsivity 1. And we'll see what this looks like when we run it. Notice it just changed up here at the top. That's all it did, is just added a little bit extra here to our plot, which doesn't look too bad. Now, what we might want to also do is change the plot a little bit because we can take this plot, and I'm just going to copy and paste it at the moment, and you should too. And I'll fill in what the comment is here in a minute. But I'm going to add what's called a notch. And this put here true, which is a logical argument. I think this is the first time we've seen a logical argument. So a logical argument, notice it's highlighted in blue. It's a keyword, and it has to be typed this way in order for it to work. So here, if I do this, let's see what this produces. And it says, oh, wait, the title shouldn't have notch. That was my mistake. Sorry. Again, got to pay attention to what you're doing. Even I mess up. And I purposely leave this in here to show you that programmers do this all the time, and that programming isn't just simply typing out a document from memory. All right, so here you can see there's a notch at the mean. It produces a nice little notch in our box so that you can see directly where the mean is, or the median is in this case. It doesn't actually have a mean on it. This has the median. All right, so this is what's called a notched box plot. And let's copy and paste this here and change one other thing on it. So here we've got notched equals true. What if we do vert equals false, which is another, again, logical statement and needs to be written this way. So we have true and false need to be written this way. But let's see what this does. So I'm going to run this. And it just turned my picture sideways. So now I have my impulsivity sitting sideways. And this, just getting used to how to make a box plot here. Now, the next thing we probably would want to know how to do, and we're going to copy and paste this, is make a side-by-side box plot, okay, where the boxes are side-by-side but presents more than one number at a time. And that's what we're going to do here real quick. We're going to need to change up the data, though. So we're going to have to structure the data first. So I'm going to call it imp1 data, and it's only going to have the data that I need in it. Okay, so imp1._df dot imp1. If I can type it, maybe. Yes, I did it. The fat finger syndrome gets me all the time. Then we've got imp1 df dot imp2. Okay, so we can look at this one and see what happens. We're going to replace this information here with our imp1 data. Okay, and if I run this, let's see what happens. Notice I just structured the data the way I wanted to, and then I'm going to run it and see what happens. Oh, see? Now put them side by side. They're now side by side, and I can see that this one tends to be a higher value than this one. I can also take and add one more to this, and that's what I'm going to do. This is a notched box plot. Let's see. This one is horizontal, and this is side by side. Horizontal. And if you take out the vert equals false, it'll stand them straight back up again. So first, let's just copy and paste this, and we're going to add in one more variable just so we can see that you can do more than one and how to structure that to make that work. So we had other variables in there. So let's just do imp1 df imp3. Okay, that's all I'm changing is this, and I'm also going to change this. I'm going to do impulsivity versus time, because that's what each one of those things are. Time points at which they came in, or visit they came in to the various clinic to be measured. Okay, so let's see what this looks like. Okay. Oh, and look, it has a dot out here that we have an outlier. So let's define that as an outlier. The other reason I wanted to do this is notice how it changes the shape of the box plot, or the actual box, if you're skewed. So it makes it easier to see where things are skewed and how they're skewed. All right, so let's finish this off and make this a nice looking plot. So we're going to go back to some of the things we knew before. I'm just going to give some space here. So we need to add an X label. Plot X label, and then in here we're just going to add impulsivity. Impulsivity. There we go. And we add a Y label. If I can. Finger's not working. This would be visit or time. And I think that's really the only other things we need. Let's see what this looks like here. And sure enough, we've got the time, the impulsivity versus time, and it has our plots next to each other, and we can see that whatever group time 1 is, the measure is higher than at time 2 and at time 3. So this is a way to help you learn to work with your data and see what happens in different ways, or in different situations. So here we've broken it off by time, but you could easily do this by treatment, not treatment, and so on. So anyway, this is our first stab at Boxplots, and I probably won't do another video on these because this kind of covers most of the things, and you should be able to jump in and learn from here on your own. All right, so we're done with Boxplots, and we'll start